Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Victor Kesselly, and I will be your host today. So today we're going to work on defense mechanism. Um, Burroughs defense mechanism. So defense mechanism, the first one we're going to work on we'll talk about will be denial, not accepting reality because it's painful. We tend to do this in our everyday lives, denying something because we feel embarrassed. We don't want to talk about it, so we can put it aside. And a good example of denial would be a person who drinks habitually and denies that they have a drinking problem. So I work with a lot of people who have substances. So sometimes they will deny that they drink um, just so they're not embarrassed, um, not accepting reality for what it is. All right. The next one we go over will be rationalization, justifying one's behavior and motives, creating a story for things you do, giving reasoning for things you do. Example of that, a drinker says that I only drink to socialize with friends. Obviously, knowing that he drinks a lot more than what he's saying he does, but again, defense mechanism are meant to reduce anxiety. So to not look like he's a horrible person or if friends think he's horrible or that he drinks a lot or whatever the story is, he create a justification for the behaviors and the motives. So again, an example of that would be a drinker says that I only drink to socialize with friends, but in reality is that they drink all the time. Next, projection, attributing your own unacceptable thought, feelings to someone else. Um, so projection is basically a person who says who's to think that they're hungry, but then they end up putting that thought and belief on to another person. Good example of that person that steals, I think everyone else steals. He's just projecting that because I steal, so everybody else must be a thief. That's a good example of projection. Another defense mechanism is regression. Regression, sparing painful thoughts from your awareness. Those are that happens without us knowing. It's like subconscious. We don't think about it. It just happens. We just behave in that way. Good example would be a little girl or a teen reverts to oral comfort, a thumb sucking on the way to his or her first day of school, feeling uncomfortable, anxiety of the first day of school. So they go back to something that provides comfort. Splitting, it's good or bad. Usually splitting is for most people that have it just can't come to my head what I'm trying to use. Um, we'll get back to it. But a good example is a student who vacillate between worship and contempt for a professor, see her as a smart, powerful, and self as ignorant and weak. But switches role depending on interaction. Some days she's the smart person, next day the professor's the smart person. So I will get back when it comes to head, I will bring the word I'm looking for, the disorder that I'm looking for. That splitting is a good example for that you splitting a lot. Conversion. Individuals reduce acute anxiety by transforming psychological suffering into physical pain. A good example of that would be characterized by impairments in sensory and motor functions. Displacement, channeling a feeling of thoughts from its actual source to someone or something else. So this is easy. We do this all the time. You at work, your boss reprimands you, and you're frustrated. You come home, yell at your loved one, your kids, your friends, dogs. Displace aggression. So that's what displacement is. Taking your feelings of hurt from some other authority figure and putting it on somebody like a loved one, a dog, a sibling, anything like that. So, example, a father gets yelled at by his boss. He comes home, yell at his wife. Reaction formation, doing or displaying beliefs or attitude contrary to what you really believe. So, placing one's initial impulse towards a situation or idea is the opposite You got a friend or sister-in-law that you don't like, but they come in and you greet them with a smile and excitement, like, like they're your best friend. That's a reaction formation. Isolation effect. Avoiding the experience of emotion associated with a person or a situation. And a good example of this one is this defense mechanism may be present in somebody who describes it. The day their house got burned down in a factual way, but they, without displaying any emotion, they just have to have blank stare on their face, actually explain something tragic that's happened to them. Most of it happens usually when people who experience trauma, in a car accident, somebody get killed in front of them. These are all anxiety reducing mechanisms to help protect that person in the immediate. Dissociation, feeling disconnected from a stressful or traumatic event, or feeling that the event is not really happening. To separate yourself from that event. Client who is in a terrible car accident does not remember the event. Again, this happens unconsciously. You're not thinking about it. It's not something you think about. It just happens. You don't have to think about it. Your body does it. Suppression. Consciously choosing to block ideas or impulses that are undesirable as opposed to. And this one, suppression, is something that you choose to block. You purposely omit these impulses or feelings that are not desirable to you. Counting to 10 before reacting in anger, telling a story of something you don't want somebody to know. So you change the story, change the part that you don't want that person to know. Intellectualization, using reasoning and logic to avoid uncomfortable or anxiety provoking emotions. You've been told you have cancer or kidney failure, heart failure. So you create this long explanation of the disease and explain the process of how it works and how the science behind how it can be treated. When you're asked about the situation, that's intellectualization. A good example here I have is a person who was diagnosed or just diagnosed with terminal cancer use scientific research to explain the diagnosis. Projective identity. Individual projects qualities that are unacceptable to the self onto another person, and that person interjects the projected qualities and believes him or herself to be characterized by them appropriately and justifiably. Good example, if someone believes that they are being prosecuted, they may alter their behavior in a way as to look suspicious in the presence of others. So it's some visual description. Boss yells at you come home, wife and kid, yell at them. Repression, putting no walls to block those feelings. Sublimation, this one I haven't gotten to yet, but this one talks about, so if you are a kid who was bullied in school or being the bully, grow up becoming a boxer. So using that bad anxiety, that skill that you're not good at in terms of if you are aggressive towards others and you use that aggressiveness from young and take your aggression out in a positive way. So becoming a boxer, professional boxer. Let's say you were a comedian, you made a lot of jokes, unpleasant jokes, hurt other people, and then you become a professional comedian. And then this is regression. Good picture of regression. Guys crying, all frustrated, reverting back to a period in your life where you felt more comfort. I have more pictures here of defense mechanism, the reaction formation and rationalization, rejection, intellectualization, get the evil villain look, displacement, like that's shown in the other picture, denial, and sublimation. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope you tune in for the next video. I'll be making next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. This is very important for support. I'm going to bring more important content. These defense mechanisms are on the test. The test brings some of them, not many. You might have a few of them on the test, but it's good to know them because you never know what comes on the test. So again, please subscribe hit and share so I can bring more ASWB and social work content. The benefit of the viewers